He doesn't. Okay. We did yesterday, yes, a little bit of halachas that with the klus and the focus. Today we'll do a little bit of regular Hilchos Pesach. Siman Taf Samach Tes. Taf Samach Tes. Skipping a little bit, yeah. Benche, darfst du das Sefer? Da Sefer. No, here.
Shin Nun Hey.
Page Shin Nun Hey.
Shin Nun Hey.
Page Shin Nun Hey.
Shin Nun Hey. Okay, I'm gonna get it.
This is yours, Joe? This is
Why is it mine?
No, I'm asking. I don't know because I saw there was something there.
Okay.
Talking about Twitter, I told you the Israeli guy is buying falafel. So the guy cut the pita, put the finger inside to open it a little bit, and he's like, "What should I put inside for you? Like, what do you like?" So first things, take out your fingers. Full.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'shalom.
What's the Yodom?
Also, Lord, Shem Rabbahem Tebas Zal Pesach.
How's carbon Pesach?
Oh, exactly. That's the problem. Vein tzarich lo yishleim al gdiv etleh. If it's a goat or a sheep, mipnei maris ayin sheshamei sabur shemakade magdu shoysam lo Pesach. Person that here,
Put in the word carbon. What's he afraid to?
even if he doesn't say korban, even if he just said lo Pesach, it's already bad enough. If he said it's korban Pesach, it's not. It's a super duper problem. It's really a problem. This is only maris ayin.
I can't call Israel and told the guy, give me a few kedaim or something for Pesach, just in case the Mashiach comes.
That's something else, saying put it aside if Mashiach will come. Here he says, he goes into the market, he says, oh, this cow will be for Pesach, or, this meat will be for Pesach. Because it sounds like he's makdish. Even if it's geshacht and a meat, and he goes into the store and he's picking up a brisket, he's going to the butcher shop and he's picking up a brisket. Lo yoimar, he shouldn't say bosses ala Pesach. He shouldn't say, this brisket is for Pesach. Hello yoimar, bosses ala Yom Tov. This brisket will be for Yom Tov. Im yoimar ala Pesach, yashemeh yasav shemag disha bos ala dmei Pesach. Sounds
like if he's going to
just like in times of Beis Hamikdash.
The bird is from.
Hopefully not.
No, it's the steam.
It's the steam?
Yeah. Yeah, the steam.
Sounds like the steam a little.
Oh, yeah. It's air from the steam.
As long as they like smoky like it.
I don't know.
Like more than two eggs.
It's air from the steam.
That's air from the steam.
More than two legs.
No. It's just it's full of air. It's full of hot air.
Full of hot air.
That's
Yeah, it's the garnish. In the day of the Beis Hamikdash, a person could say, this hat is for Korban Pesach. What does that mean? He's going to sell the hat, and that money he's going to use to buy the Korban Pesach. Because Korban Pesach was a very big thing, and it was a thing. A person would say, he would take out his wallet and take some money and put it aside and say, this is Lakovet Pesach.
Today, the most expensive hats cost about $500.
Yeah, and you know what? The sheep still today cost only $100. So with a hat like this, you could buy
Carbon Pesach.
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe now it's more expensive. But as you know, I don't know if you were here then, for the first few years I was here, we had a yeshiva. And that time, every year, like Boimer, we would buy 2 sheep and a goat, or 2 goats and a sheep. The kids would play with it over Shabbos. And then we would shecht it. So we made a barbecue with it. Actually, one year there was a Lag B'Omer parade, and we had the Talmidim here, and we made a beautiful float. We had the truck. We paid for the whole thing. It wasn't that expensive. The float, we paid for the float. I think it was $700, and they built a whole float of Vigor Zeivim Kevis. So they had a stuffed, a big animal looked like a Zeiv, and then they had a real Kevis. And
You had a professional shechet here, or you did it yourself?
no, we had a shechet, Chetzky Posner.
A menaker and a shepherd.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
who know how to
yeah,
open the vein.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that's a big job.
And hanging it and.
Yeah, that's a big job of getting rid of all the stinkers.
Yes.
No, it was very good. It was a lot of fun. And then we had a barbecue at the end.
That's good meat.
Yeah, it was we made a barbecue. We should do it again. We should do it again. We should learn a little bit the sugya before Lag B'Omer. We should learn a little bit of chulin, learn a little bit the sugya gemara chulin, a little bit teifus. We should get a couple of sheep. I don't know, maybe this year even. We should do it. I think it'll make a little bit of tumult, It'll make a little bit of
At a dinner, we could do a live pizza, and then
now we know not one sheep. I'm not going to do that. It's film Zach Shepard. Can you give me a shulchan aruch? Oh, thank you. This is much better. Even. Thank you very much.
Sheep non hate.
Um,
Mazal tov, mazal tov. Mabruk. He married his first granddaughter.
yeah. Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov. Adam here, right here.
Granddaughter, his first granddaughter.
So, okay. Back to what we're doing in here. The last line. So, if a person says, he goes into the store and says, give me a brisket for Pesach, it's very funny because most people wouldn't realize it. You go to the store, I want a brisket for Pesach.
It says kosher Pesach.
It says kosher Pesach, right? No. If a person says that, it's neither, it looks like he designated that this is going to be for the Pesach. So even though everyone understands that the brisket, but the means of pshat is that this piece of meat is going to be sold and the money is going to be used to buy a korban Pesach. Comes the night of Pesach and he's eating the brisket that he said is le Pesach. He didn't say le korban Pesach, but if he said korban Pesach, it would be terrible. It would be be'emes kosher machutz. But since he said le Pesach, it looks like it's kosher machutz. So what's she supposed to say? I'm buying the meat l'kovid Yom Tov. Can't say I'm buying the meat l'kovid Pesach. Where's the butcher when we need him? Person shouldn't send his child to the grocery store, a shliach, and say, here is $100, here's my credit card, and bring meat for Pesach. Bring me basa for Yom Tov. אבל על דוגם הכל דבר שור דברים שאינם מן בזה כלל מותר להם יהיה לפסח שבבד לא נדמה לשמש שמקדיש דבר זה תמית פסח כי משודע וזה אין לשייכת כלל עם פסח שאינם מן בזה כלל ויש מחמירים שלא למעל שום דבר לפסח they're מחמיר even fish why? Because they say what's the difference? It could be you could sell the fish and buy meat. So again, this is all a chumrah. So, but still, v'yesh machmirin shalom al shum davar lePesach chutz min achitim kayotz be'em midvar matzrichim shimur mechimut she'ashavei she'em mechitim el lePesach yesaveh she'em mechitim el matznim ve'eshmer mechimut lo tzarech haPesach le'shmi matzah shmura v'tev lachit devreim lechatchila you shouldn't say for anything besides chitim lePesach. You say moas chitim, moas zeh lePesach, fine, but yeah, Avo b'diavad. Afilim Mama Gdivet Lechaim Basa Zela Pesach. If he said it, he said Basa Zela Pesach. Mutarim b'diavad. Afilim came. Afilim came out of Pesach. Chatzos b'shemarasayin unless b'diavad. It's a chumra marasayin, but b'diavad it's not also. V'yesh machmin b'gdivet le loisam machil lo'olam be'em Pesach v'kol Pesach. Oh yacher. Afilim Mama came al Basa Gdivet le. That they're machmer when it comes to taka gdiut le be'emes, because when it's a gdiut le, it's more serious. I feel omakain al basar gdiut le shechoshim didn't say on a live gdi, on a live kula. He went into the butcher shop, and there were lamb chops, and he said the lamb chops I'm buying for Pesach. Basar al Pesach, I'm buying the lamb chops for Pesach. So they're machmer. Shechoshin lepisha shemeyo o shuayim basa zel lepesach. Chusava shekvar igdisha machayim l'shem Pesach. It's not stam that, oh, maybe the money is going to be dedicated for the Korban Pesach. He thinks that this lamb was be'emes, dedicated l'shem Pesach. He was makdish it. So therefore it's also, you can have a noah from it. You can give it to your dog. You can give it to a goy to eat. The commercial questions bar be here today. You have to be choishish for this. You have to be choishish for this. Unless there's a hefsid meruba. Hefsid meruba, it's very hard to judge. Every person, what's a hefsid for a person. So you have to judge what's considered hefsid meruba. Or shasat chak. What's a shasat chak? Is verstandig. What's a shasat chak? Is it's Erev Pesach. And the stores are closed. And, they have 50 people coming to the Seder table, 25, 10, whatever. And that's the Shasat Chak. So then you can be Mekel. So Shasat Chak and usually and Hefsed Meruba go together. The truth is Shasat Chak and the Evid go together. Kol Zek Shah, Gdivet Lehin Shaloi, Oy Sheyesh Loi, Shutfes Behen, Aval, Im Ein Loi Behen, Lein Lechelik Behen. It's his. It's someone else's. If he goes into butcher shop and he picks up lamb, they don't belong to him. He says he doesn't realize he made a mistake, and the butcher knows that Tamat Chacham. And this guy was Amoritz. He picks up. He says, "Oh, great! These lamb chops are great for Pesach." Oh, so you have to judge it. Shasat.
No, it's not his.
It's not his. It's not his. You can't that it's a golden rule. You can't ask it. But once he paid for it and becomes his, it's a problem. Okay, so you have several levels over here. If he said, if the Gedivet Le was Chaim, that's worse.
No, can I get it?
Right. And then there is when they are ready lachamisa.
Mama's learning this Gemara another now. Hektish Batas with the fish.
Oh wow! Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
This is the daf.
No, I'm behind. But,
Daf Yom is now Nozik.
yeah.
Yeah. Now they're, done.
Huh?
They're up to none. I'm ready. By Lam, I'm a little behind.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Loimer, but Sela Pesach, Loimer, boss is Al Pesach. Moisha, I mean, Ashkenaz. Al Pesach means like they say, Far Pesach. Ich gave the flesh Far Pesach. Far Pesach, Al Pesach. Moisha, I mean, Ashkenaz, Mutter, Fila, Lachaim, Shoshash, Marasain, Sheimoim. Yeah.
I can be, I'm buying it before Pesach, not that
It's a trick word. The truth is a person should be careful and just say for Yom Tov. Because Lub Pesach, Al Pesach, a person could easily make that mistake from Al Pesach or Lub Pesach. But Lepoil, if he said Lub Pesach, we're Machman. If he said Al Pesach, we're Mekel. Also, last is Gedir.
What's Al Pesach mean? Le Pesach, you understand. What Al Pesach? It's no meaning.
It has no meaning. That's what he said. It has no meaning. It has zero meaning in grammatically in Hebrew. That's why it's not a problem. In Yiddish, you see a lot of times when you read big poskim, I'm talking about going back to Chachmei Ashkenaz for 700 years, and they write, and if you will read it, you won't understand what they're saying. You know why? Because they were thinking Yiddish and they were writing Hebrew. Sometimes, yeah. It's only understand certain times Chachmei Ashkenaz, which because they didn't speak in it. Today where even people don't speak Hebrew, but it's like it was a dormant language. It was only like, and at the point they were thinking in Yiddish. A lot of times I notice it by Mamish Gedolei HaPoskim that not that it's showing them so much, but by Gedolei HaPoskim.
The Yiddish.
Yeah, they're thinking in Yiddish and they're writing in Lashon Kodesh. So it's true. In Hebrew, Al Pesach doesn't make sense. Le Pesach, Al Pesach. Al Pesach, Tachat Le Pesach, Maze Al Pesach. I was a little kid, And that was the 770. Remember, we used to go out there with it, and the people used to hang up signs. And there was a sign about advertising for buying a lulav and esrog. It's something, it's impressionable on your little child. So Israeli asks me, Maze. So I tried to explain to him in my Ashkenaz Hebrew. I said, Moichem esrog. Maze, אני לא מבין מה זה. Moichem esrog, lulav, arba minim. לא מבין מה זה. I can't understand. What doesn't he understand? I'm telling him they're selling an esrog. And then I said, etrog. Etrog! Oh, verstehe, jetzt ist die gesagte Sache. Esrog, maze esrog, wo man will. So, Al Pesach is the same thing like that. There's no such thing in Hebrew, Al Pesach.
They have a story. A guy finished the army in Israel, and his uncle, it's a real story, his uncle gave him tickets to Florida. His uncle was very rich. So he came to Florida. He's a Sephardi guy. He never went to Ashkenaz Shul. So they saw new guys, so they invited him to Ptichat Ha'echad. So the guy said, come on, psicha. Say, you psichi. Psichi in Hebrew is crazy. Tell him psicha, tell him you're crazy.
Exactly. So that's a pshat. Huh? Can see how So Le Pesach, Al Pesach is because Al Pesach doesn't make sense. It's only B'loshen Ashkenaz they say Oif Pesach. So therefore it's not a problem. But versteht sich like a tchila person should say we're buying it for Yom Tov. Also last the gedir it like cool. Sein lit loise better Pesach katzoyse. But Al Pesach should shalom rosh kreb al kirbek saying tzlis Pesach. Filo the evidas lach Al Pesach. Af bishul pirish bas Al Pesach. Filo tzol kam yom kodem Al Pesach kamoish bar besimatav haim beis. It's an unusual case. Gdim Kulas. Tafayim Beitz will tell you more details about this, but I mean, Mamash Gdim Kulas is an unusual thing.
Don't they put on the Leila Seder like a head of a ram or something? Or is it something Rosh Hashanah?
No, Rosh Hashanah. It doesn't say there.
That's a rotisserie is unusual?
This is rotisserie, but rotisserie is not unusual. For chicken today, they have machines that you get, but a machine that has a rotisserie for a big one, I don't think, I've never seen, I don't know.
In this country.
Roasted.
Could be Middle Eastern countries. Could be. Wouldn't be surprised. That shouldn't be. I mean, it's not that complicated. I mean, it's the same mechanism.
Like shawarma?
Just
Yeah.
You just need a bigger spit. It's
to
turn around, but I've never seen it here. Okay, and another funny halacha which people don't realize. Kirosha, mahu oimer. Ma avoida zois lochem, ma toirach yesh ze lochem. Right? It's a funny thing. V'ashem eloim lezonim v'zev yesh lem alem schus shein nikarash shem ma toirach ze al toirach akravas hapesa shem mitzvah min hatoira minir v'dvar shem mitzvah hatoira in all of the toirach m'shenkem es manazek shem nagod lazehiris v'chumras yiseidis kam hatoirach ein isabadavar. That's a limit schus. That when they say today Pesach is so hard, vey Pesach is so hard. They mean like the extra chumras that we're doing today that are chumras on top of chumras.
Not a Jew.
Right, but lepoil, that's a limud schus. That's a limud schus. But lepoil, the lachatchila, a person should never say Pesach is so difficult. So come home, tell your wife tonight a new thing. Can't complain, can't kvetch about Pesach.
Make Pesach.
I tell you come start cleaning and do
it. You can't even complain.
I heard today something nice. How we know that Hillel Hazaken was Sfaradi?
Yeah, how do we know?
Because it said Haya Korchan ve'ochlan bevat achad. He used to take a lafa, put like shawarma, Korchan ve'ochlan. How you mekorech?
Yeah, with the hard matzah, you can't do it.
Yeah. So you have to take a lafa, matzah lafa, put the shawarma, turn.
Did he put some hummus? They didn't say.
Maybe it's Pirush Rashi. No, what's Korchan B'Ochlan? Is to put it in and roll it. I can roll.
Could be also a sandwich.
Huh?
Could be also a sandwich. Like
no, it's Pesach.
Yeah, we do a sandwich, right? We take tomatoes and put inside.
כן, כשאומרים היום כריכה is a sandwich.
Okay. Kochen.
Neugen aber heute ist Lusanas Lahashno Bcholere Pesach. Zeg nun das nicht slud Markus Bchores Masan Nafila Bchor Ma Abelvad and Belvad. The meaning of Tainas Bchor is it doesn't matter if the Bchor is from the father or the mother. Shebekulam Moisa Hamak, Shekulam Nikra Bchores Linyan Nikra Bchores. They all have the name of Bchor when it comes to Tainas Bchores. Bchor may have Nikra Bchor Lanachla Yerusha. If it's the Bchor from the father, so he has a Yerusha. He is Pishnayim for the Yerusha. And so each one has a din of Bechor. If it's a kind of Levi, so there's no pidyon here. It's not that the Torah said he's not a Bechor. He is a Bechor, but the Torah said you don't have to do the pidyon. But he has the din of a Bechor. So Lagabi this minute, it makes no difference.
Again, Lagabi Yosha Kohen and Levi, the same thing at all.
Even Lagabi Bchor Me'im, which is only Pet Terechem, but Lapoil, he's a Pet Terechem.
Who is not a Paul from them?
If it's second marriage of the father or the mother, so it could be the Mitzad, the mother, she had a baby, she got divorced, she got married again.
And she has a baby.
She has a baby with him, so it's a Bchor La'av.
For her, it's not a Paul.
For her, it's not a Bchor. It could be the other way around. It could be second marriage for the man.
Second marriage it doesn't.
Right, it doesn't need opinion.
But it's a Paul.
She has a.
Right. It could be the other way around. For her, it's her first marriage. And for him, it's a second marriage. So either way, the baby is a Bechor, the child is a Bechor. Isha shepilu nefa b'akach yolda ben kayam ha'ava b'shoy saben ein nikra Bechor l'nyepidyon she'enei peter rechem shekvar nifter rechema l'gabi pidyon haben. So since she had a nafel, so if it's a miscarriage and then she has a regular birth, there's no pidyon haben. L'kol makom arei hu Bechor l'nyanachla, because if it's the first marriage of father and mother, so still there's the babies of Bechor. If he had from a previous marriage, he had a baby, because the father already has from a previous marriage a baby, because the woman had a miscarriage, and it's there is a certain opinion that girls also have to fast. They're also part of this minig. Why? What would be the logic? The Chazal say that if there was a Bechor in the house, the Bechor died. But if there was no Bechor, so the Godel Abayis died. And like Rashi says in Chumash that there was a Tzaka Gedoyla, because there was a lot of them that have 10 mason, because they're mazana tachas balayin. So there could be that she has 10 sons, but they're really all b'chorim. So the all 10 died. All 10 died. So that's why we know that just a b'chor ma'av, just a b'chor ma'ain, is considered a b'chor. So why, if there's no b'chor, maybe we should say the Gadol Abayis, the oldest child. What's the difference, a boy or girl? If it was a Mitzrayim and there was no boys in the house, it was just a girl, maybe she killed her oldest girl. So what? No, the answer is the Kivin Sheikar the Tainas of Bechor Ein Elamin Lo Noag Lo Hach Makol Kach Sheikar Asra VaMak Kso VeTorah VeFerish Lo Yisrael Hala Bechor Maschorim. What's written in Torah Shabiksav and what the Eivishter said to Moshe, what was the Ikar Asra, was about the boys. The pearl, when it came down to it, they got a little extra. The Eibishter promised them like this and gave them a little more.
Any Mefarshim said how many got died in the Bechor? How many going? How many mitzvahs?
And by Chem Mutzaka. That's what happened.
No, they have 10,000, 50,000, 100,000.
Good question. I don't know.
Nobody said.
Yeah, if to take the look in the census of Mitzrayim, and the last time before the Yidden went out of Mitzrayim.
They would never know.
Okay. The minig is that the father will fast for the son. And then the child will do for himself. We don't say, oh, there's a problem over here. It's an interesting issue. Like when we say, you know, he has two sons. There is from his previous marriage and from his second marriage. The first one from his previous marriage is a b'chor l'nachla. The second one is a b'chor for peterechem. There's a pidyon abim for that child. So you would say, oh, how could one fast go from both? The answer is the minig is.
We had an shul of the pidyon abim for somebody's second marriage. Remember? A couple days ago, somebody. He married or divorced, and he had a second lady.
And there was,
I was there, sure. He done sometime.
בתורה, תענית, בכורות, they make a big סיום, and a lot of בכורות coming and
yeah,
to listen.
enjoying. Yeah. My son, we used to go there, he used to go every year.
yeah. בכל זה כשאינה בחור, אבל אם הוא בחור, צריך לצלס בעד עצמו, אין הטיינס, אוילה בעד בנו, אלא אין מסען התחת מהקודם ג'יגל. If the father himself is a בחור, then there's a problem. How could the father for himself? But ויש אומרים שאינם צריך לצלס, שטיינס אבל אוילה גם בעד בנו. Second opinion says no, I'm sorry. That it's oilah lakan, just like it's for two sons, the father and a son could also go good. Why? There's a zikoron echad that's you know for this and for that because it's l'zeicher l'neis v'yesh lismach l'vrei mamakom tzar. B'chol shkein in beres manika she can't fast anyway. Can't fast anyway.
That's all.
Yeah. It's interesting. I just pause for a second, mamish for a second. I never mamish resolved it in my mind, but someone once asked me, you know, like, so you say Tehillim. So there's a lot of minhagim in saying Tehillim. There are people that this brought from the Chabad Rebbeim that it says gula for Yiddish Shemayim for your children to say a capital for every one of your children. There is takon of saying Tehillim kifshenechlek lemois hachodesh. There's this, but what happens if it ends up like, you know, there's one capital Tehillim that is my child's age, and it's the capital for today, and it's, you know, it's a few things like this. So I should say the capital 3 times, or so. I mean, obviously, I think it makes sense to say it 3 times because when we say zikaron echad, oila lakan is only like we're saying over here. It's a zeicher l'neis. It's not like there's a certain chiyuv to fast. There's no chiyuv, intrinsic chiyuv to fast. It's zeicher l'neis. So zikaron echad oila lakan. But if you have an inyan of saying Tehillim the way it's limei achodesh, and you have an inyan to say Tehillim for the Yerushalayim of your children, and you have inyan to say Shabbos mevorchim Tehillim. It's different cheshbonos. You say zikaron echad oila lakan. This is the cheshbon Shabbos and vorchim, and this is a cheshbon for. There's different takonas. They're not zikaron echad oila lakan.
Shabbos and vorchim said the whole Tehillim, then said that.
Right, you say the whole Tehillim, and they say the other Tehillim. It's a different cheshbon. It's a different. Okay, look.
You can say the Tehillim says this for the whole cheshbonos there.
That's what I'm saying.
Say the whole
It's
Tehillim.
all the same Tehillim.
No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
It'd be easy.
Yeah. In Judaism, we're not looking for easy. We're not looking for shortcuts and for easy. You know.
When you drive a car and you took a red light to get a ticket, what happens when the truck has like 5 cars in the back and you took a red light? I haven't taken a ticket.
Weiter, warf ihm ein Lo, Baal, Shisana, aber no. Ein Tzirich Lisanas, a woman.
She's Almona?
Yeah, Almona. She does not mechuyev. Im himu beres, I'm a nikavesh latzar, minatayne, begin je let's go to your app, shein latzar. Come on, matayne, hisanis kar pamach no. If a woman fasts once for a child, voyos badait and linikin loyal machi, the bna tanas are like a ned of tzarach lativ, the shel of charota. She has to get when simon tough iron. So if a woman once decided to fast for a son, she's an almana, she's a single mom, and she decided to fast for her son. Now, even if she said that she's muberes menika yesh latzah, she has to do sheila v'charot. B'choros ayim man in mishmei tefillah b'tfilas hamencha. B'masara b'choros mispalem v'yachid v'cham shatz machzeh tefillah man in mishmei tefillah b'ntain zechilim chomak machatchila tov shliya b'choros shatz k'shasara b'choros mispalem yachid b'yeshem she'inoch l'hasker hataynis b'tzibah b'achtoros tefillah and kibish chodesh nissen and whole chodesh nissen is a yom tov. M'chol had a Pesach but a Shabbos. We dealt with this, last year, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Samim b'choros boy b'yom avalim chol b'Shabbos in the fast. When Erev Pesach is Erev Shabbos, I'm sorry, Erev Pesach Shabbos.
Why the Motzei Shabbos is the first day?
Motzei Shabbos the first day. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we have to
And we had twice the very.
You have to daven Shabbos.
We're 2 years from now.
Uh-huh.
You have to daven Shabbos early in the morning because you have to finish eating before.
Right. It was right. It was.
And you come to the Seder like a mensch.
Yeah.
The first night of Seder you're knocked out.
Right.
The second Seder you're okay.
Right.
This time you come to the Seder.
Exactly. It's beautiful. Chol b'Shabbos, the Erev Pesach Chol b'Shabbos. Oh, so nitchalim hey shalafonim. If you're already going to push it, you push it liyam hey. And koshla matanis liyam hey kimish balad boit k'mesachametz ein Hashem liton kelam avdika. And they're going to be stuck that they can't eat before the bedika. Why can't they eat before the bedika? Again, a technical issue. It's the same reason why you can't eat before you hear the Megillah after Tainus Esther. It's not a din in Tainus Esther. It's just that when Tainus Esther finishes, you have a mitzvah to hear the Megillah. And you're not supposed to eat before you do a mitzvah whenever you have an obligation for a mitzvah. Same thing here. The fast finishes, and right now he has an obligation to check for chametz, so he can't eat. So they only said the su'uda is also. Or they should have some ashlich adam kamoisei, someone else will check. This was relevant in a shiur that, and I think I mentioned this halacha even, in the halacha shiur we did before Purim, because there are some people that it's very, very, very hard for them to have the fast of Tainus Esther and then hear the Megillah. And we spoke about it. The Kitzur Shulchan says to drink coffee. But from the Alter Rebbe's mashma, Kitzur Shulchan maybe had something in his mind that dafka coffee, whatever, like a pshora. But from the Alter Rebbe, it seems that Isser is only Suda, and Te'ima is fine. But Shir Te'ima is probably less than a Kabetza. Mokim she'en shem minhag yudua. Chelim ha'b'cheres lachal al Sudas mitzvah. They can rely on a Sudas mitzvah. What's a Sudas mitzvah? So today we're knowing the minhag is that a Sudas mitzvah is a siyum. Siyum is a Sudas mitzvah. Now, in Mitzvah Hashem,
this time.
Right. Lapol, that's the minhag today. In the ganze Welt. Why? Because it's very hard. And then you have to do a seder and a fast, and it's very, very hard. What's Tzaddik Elyon that fasted and did a siyum. Chabad Rabbeim used to fast and do a siyum.
They fasted every day.
Exactly. Then for them wasn't a big deal. They fasted 20 days. And what's the big deal? But my Zayda told me that
The
was
worst thing to open your fast on a cup of wine.
Yeah. That was minig. That was the minig. He said that he knows for a fact because he was a little boy and he was a bechor. He was a bechor le'imay, not bechor le'aviv. And
Was his second marriage?
Yeah. My grandmother raised 5 children. That my elder said that his wife passed away in the middle of birth of her child, and then he right away married a cousin to he had 5.
She raised the kids.
So my Zayda is the oldest from the second.
Wow.
Yeah, so when he was a little child, his father used to bring him to the room of the Frierdiker Rebbe and he used to make a siyum. The Frierdiker Rebbe was a bechor, and my Zayda was a bechor. And he said that even though the Frierdiker Rebbe made a siyum, his minig was to fast. Mistama the Rebbe's minig was probably the same thing, but it's very hard. It's like we're going to talk about this Sunday. What's considered a sudas mitzvah? There's a whole shakla v'ataya. What's a sudas mitzvah? So
a priest.
we'll talk about it Sunday because I already started last Sunday with whatever Ovel, what's considered a Sudas mitzvah. B'tach shloshim, b'tach shiva, b'tach shloshim, b'tach beis chodesh, shar krovim, avim ve'imoi. If it's a chasna, if it's a bris, if it's a pidyon haben, if it's a shalom zocher, if it's a siyum masechta, if it's a bar mitzvah, if it's aufsternis. No, not true. Even an engagement party is considered a sudas mitzvah. It's people don't. Huh?
Even if they don't do Hasidish without
I don't know what Chabad they do a kinyan. Even though they don't do small thing, they do a kinyan, tiny thing. They don't even do a kinyan. Still, even if they don't do a kinyan, the Chassam Sofer says beautiful word. Why is it a sudas mitzvah?
They drink l'chaim. That mean they
No, not because the mazel tov and the l'chaim. Chassam Sofer says that Rav Mangid Amanda Mekadesh Beshuka, that if a person sees a woman and they love each other and they call to Edom Asada Kiddushim, he gives it right away a ring. They break the cup. All is good. They get malchut. What did he do wrong? Because the Rishonim say because it's a looks out Tagoy Shatam. By Jews, Mekadosh Am Yisrael, they chut the kiddushin. There is chosna kala. They meet, they date, or whatever. By Chassidim today, the parents a little organize it. I mean, I'm all excited on the whole Klal Yisrael is that way. But it's not stam. The boy and a girl they meet in the shuk. It looks like znus. So the Chassam Sofer says that's why this is a sudas mitzvah. It's a mitzvah l'kayim divrei Chazal. Chazal wanted. There's no shit thing. They're married. That's nus. They meet. They like each other. Okay, we're calling family. We make l'chaim. We have a kinyan. We do something, a small thing, and then the chasna comes later. So there's a lot of things that are considered sudas mitzvah.
They don't say shema yikachena acher.
That's a separate issue. That's why you're allowed to sometimes marry a woman like us now. In the middle of Yom Tov, Shema Yagdimenu Acher. That's a different issue. It's not.
Get engaged.
You get allowed to get engaged. You're allowed to do Eidus and Nesuyin, all kinds of things. Even if it's Chol HaMoyed, even if it's Ovel. Shema Yagdimenu Acher. Someone's going to catch the kala before him. Okay, that's another issue.
So can you say it if you find her in the shuk? Maybe somebody else will take her from the shuk and get married.
But you don't mekadesh her on the shuk. You could find her on the shuk. It's okay.
They
You don't
can
mekadesh her on
get
the
engaged.
You make engage, and the next day you'll get married. Next day, make engage, make it fast. Okay. Anyway, so there is actually a discussion. There is a discussion in Poiskim. So this mitzvah from a siyum. How close do you have to be? Do you have to have learned the Masechta? There's a brot in the Maril that there used to be a minig that the balabatim. That's his words. The balabatim. Again, thinking in Yiddish and writing in Russian, that the balabatim used to come to the first shiur and to the beginning of the Masechta. If they realize when the Maril was living in Worms about 700 years ago, typically in a town like Worms 700 years ago, there was the Rov, the Dayan, the Rosh Hashiva. So the Balabatim used to come for the first year. What's the pshat? The first year. I'm sorry. Beginning of Masechta. So they would come for hear the first Mishnah, and then they would come for the last Mishnah, and then they would make a Sudasiyum because they're like involved because they learned the first Mishnah and the last Mishnah at least. So there's a discussion. A herring, the cup and the tail. So there's a whole discussion. What happens if he's an Amoritz and he doesn't understand anything? So is he a chelik of the Suda? There's a big discussion about this, and there is a big shakla because he doesn't understand. No, he didn't. He doesn't understand anything. He didn't learn anything. It doesn't sound like a very Chabad approach. I'm just telling you that there's a shakla about this. My Zayd used to tell the story that sie kommen dann am Ort, sie kommen zum Restaurant in Schul, stark getanzt. I'm telling it sober. It's also to tell a story like this. If you take a few l'chaims, you can make believe that. Take a few l'chaims. What happens? I take a few l'chaims. I'll show you exactly what happens. 1 second.
Make it make a cooler on the table.
No. I'll tell you in a second. It's about Zen. It's about Zen. My daughter sent me this. This is actually very cute.
The thing, als Connie Marove fleck Doggen, als Pulli fleckte Connie alle Sachen Doggen, nur du, wir nehmt Englisch und Maske. Warum der was it haben, kann fängt zu verlieben und Tom merkt, das Verletzung na jeder ist schicke. Even though der Walle noch nicht schicke, weil wir sind mit mir Jacke, wir von sich aus nächste weitere Jahre.
Wow.
Jetzt darum mir und alles.
Wow. How's she get?
So, I don't know if she is. My daughter just said it to me. Anyway, so I make believe I took a little l'chaim before, and I'll tell the story. So you come again am Oritz and getanzt. Some Kostoy stark getanzt. So the Rav calls him over. He says, "Was tanzt das? Hab's gelernt. Hab's daf gemordet der Jahr. Hab's gelernt. Hab's Masechta Mishnayos. Step is gelernt. Why are you dancing so much?" So, I don't know. When I was a little kid, I asked my Rebbe. It says, "Al chet shechaton lefanecha b'chapas shoichet." That I'm not a dayan. So and my father's not a dayan, and my Zayd is not a dayan. So how can I say al chet because I took shoichet? I can't take shoichet. So my Rebbe told me that all the Yidden are responsible, and therefore if the dayan takes shoichet, so every Yid has to. So like I said, if the dayan takes shoichet, and I have to clap al chet, so the dayan will learn, I could dance in a simcha. Oh, all joking aside, there's the same story is told a little with less the rough edges from Levi Tzabadichever, that he said that when you dance at a simcha of your brother, you're just as happy. And when you dance at your own simcha, you're happy for your brother. You made a good shidduch, and you're very happy. So what's the difference if you learned yourself a masechta or another you learned a masechta? It's exciting. You learned a masechta. And it's a big simcha. So I learned the Masechta, he learned the Masechta. What's the difference? So the point, that's the way we're knowing today. That I'm just mentioning that there's a big discussion in Poiskin. I'm talking about Poiskin 200-300 years ago. If Suda Siyum is only for those that came from the beginning Shiur to the end Shiur, maybe even those, only those that learned the whole Masechta, the beginning, the end, only the end, and the stand the end. The point today we're going with the Mahalach of Reb Levi Tzabadichever.
The example the Rav said on Sunday that if the person is marrying off a Yasin, so if he doesn't participate, then there won't be a.
It's his simcha.
Right.
Paket, it's Shem Shemaim.
So over here, if nobody's going to come to the Sudas Mitzvah, then there won't be no Sudas Mitzvah.
Okay, very good. Let's do quick.
Most of the Siyum, nobody learned with him. He's the only Messiah.
I know that's the way minig is today. I'm just telling you, in the Shalos of Chuvas, there are those that say you have to, it's a Sudas Mitzvah only if you learn the whole Masechta. There are those that say the beginning, the head, and the tail. There's those that say at least he understands the Siyum. Because if he doesn't understand even the Siyum, what is Zimcha? But our minig today is, like Reb Levi Tzabadichever, that if it's a Siyum Masechta, everyone is excited. I don't care. I learned it. So learned it. I'm happy. That's what we're knowing, exactly. And the Bikir is negated later Pesach. Didn't say look for no Galachman. The Bikir Mishra to like also the Smiths are Mata de Shelachrota. In the Medina said Alter Rebbe, the minig was to be Machmed. Give me Shaysan Pam Achel later Pesach by us. But that didn't really can la Avshas by us, so the Smiths are Birmakoma Kamenastam. He san al das, a minig, the Kimisha minig Shalach also the Smiths and Kenas as a minig of Canada given Shoyas Bedait Lina came loyal, Mamach, Mashallah Laf de Shelachrota, tell the Bracha. That was the old minig. The poil our minig today is fakir. The mispasha the minig today that we do rely on a siyam masechta, and therefore there's no reason to make a Torah and Dorim on it. The sandik v'avia ben kimish yomtiv shalem. These people, it's their yomtiv. It's their yomtiv. Bale bris, which is the moil, the sandik, and the father of the child. יכול למלאך עליו ולא שלב אחרות ידי שלו והתנס בפור התנס לאחר פסח לשלב אחרות. או יתר ידי שלב אחרות. מי שמסענה בת בנו איפה שאינו מבעל הבריס יוכל לאחר לבילה על ידי שלב אחרות. Again, this is all not negay b'zman hazeh, because the point today, minik poshet b'klal Yisrael, is to be makel to have a sim. Only what's negay is interesting, which will be negay to what I'm going to talk about Sunday morning, the concept of sometimes there's a simcha and my simcha. Like for a bris, we say it's a sudas mitzvah, but it's not my simcha. Who is it? To who is my simcha? Is the moel the sanik davia ben. Mishu istenis kol kach shem yochel b'yem lechel b'layl l'matzal l'tiyovin. Yesh lo l's'anes be'erev Pesach tzadim mefurish in the Gemara of one of the Meroim. He would fast at a Pesach. Why? Because in order to have appetite. Today she'yochel matzal l'tiyovin b'layl l'kayim mitzvahs be'erev toichel matzahs. Because it's a mitzvah, they want to eat it l'teavon. Because otherwise, they're not doing the mitzvah well. So if you know that you're the type of person that eating a little bit on that Pesach is already going to take away your appetite, so that's a problem with your eating.
A lot of Chabad when they have guests, right, and they come in before Yom Tov, you're feeling it, you have much space.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Azav Imani, when I was a kid in Chabad, on Shabbos, we want to show what mean a Jewish Shabbos. Boom. So we used to call different schools, 5 kids, let's say a class, they come to Chabad for Shabbos, and they come Friday, and then each kid will go to a different family. They come with a teacher, or so this Friday night davening, and they say, okay, you go to this family, you go to this family, right? Right. A couple of minutes after the meal starts, knock on the door. The student come to the teacher. He said, what happened? Didn't they send you to a house to eat? He said, I don't know, I came to the house, say hello and this, and then the owner holding the cup and said, אתה יוצא לבד או שאני מוציא אותך?
That's your heart. That's your... You have to understand his liver to understand his job.
Is it a true story?
Yeah, he was holding the cup. He wanted to know, you're going to make it by yourself or I'll make it for you. What he said, אתה יוצא לבד או שאני מוציא אותך?
Okay, it's good.